Hey, what's up guys? So we're back with another Star Wars video. If you're new channel, welcome. We're going to be checking out another video by Red5. So shout out and credit goes to Red5 for the video. And this one is called The Most Powerful Capital Ships in All of Star Wars. Now, I remember from, the Clone Wars and also, some of the sequel. Oh my god, dude. Sorry. Some of the sequel like Star Wars movies like the massive separatist ship. I mean, this thing will always stay in my memory. The Malevolence. I mean, the size of that ship was insane, but also its the ion cannon capabilities, how it could like shut down like a lot of capital ships or just any ships that will be caught in the blast, and then they're literally powerless and defenseless against that against the arsenal of the Malevolence. And the Super Star Destroyer, I think is, I forgot what it was called, the Executor in from the Empire. And also, I don't know if this is gonna fall under the category, but I'm still gonna throw in there Home One, that was for the Rebel Alliance, which was a Mon Calamari ship. And from the First Order, I don't know if this counts, but the Snoke's Star Destroyer, like that Super Star Destroyer. And I was also thinking about maybe Thrawn, like Grand Admiral Thrawn's Star Destroyer, the Chimera. But I don't know if that's going to be mentioned. But let's see what kind of powerful capital ships Red 5 will talk about. So without anything else, let's just jump right into it.
In Star Wars, there are countless ships thrown into battle, from single-pilot starfighters to massive starships that hold crews that reach the thousands. But leading the charge in many space battles were the capital ships. Some were decorated with colors and patterns signifying their role within a fleet, and others were custom-made as machines of war to stop a battle before it had ever taken place. So, in no particular order, we're going over the 10 most powerful capital ships in all of Star Wars. Home 1. An
Okay.
MT-80 Star Cruiser under the command of the famous Admiral Ackbar was the Home 1. At the time, this was one of the largest and most advanced Mon Calamari starships ever made, and the command vessel for the Rebel Alliance during the Battle of Endor. The Home 1 coordinated the Rebel fleet maneuvers across many different battlefields. Like many other Mon Calamari cruisers, the Home 1 prioritized survivability and shield strength, making it an incredibly durable command vessel. Home 1 would
Now that I think about it, sorry for pausing, guys. What happened to the Home One after the Battle of Endor? Because it was never seen in episodes 7 through 9.
continue to participate in various encounters across the galaxy, including the Battle of Jakku. Here, the cruiser would again take on the role of the New Republic's fleet command ship, with Admiral Ackbar coordinating the battle with other New Republic commanders. Thanks to the Home 1, the tide of the Galactic Civil War would constantly shift to favor the Rebellion, leading to the end of the Galactic Empire and the finale to the Galactic Civil War. The Malevolence. The
Here we go.
gargantuan subjugator-class heavy cruiser known as the Malevolence was a prototype superweapon to be used by the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars. Under the command of General Grievous, this ship dwarfed standard warships, and
In my opinion, I mean, not my opinion. For me personally, the Malevolence is actually one of my favorite ships. I mean, the ion cannon, the design of it personally. I always thought about like those what if situations. I was thinking like, what if the Malevolence was present, like a Malevolence ship was present during the Battle of Endor, or something similar, like maybe the Home One had an ion cannon like that, or what if the Republic also made a ship that was similar to the Malevolence? So many different outcomes, but in my opinion, the Malevolence was the most effective because of the ion cannon, where it could just disable all defenses of their opponents, and the massive like turrets and cannons could just annihilate them afterwards.
was equipped with twin ion pulse cannons mounted along its massive hull. The blast of its ion cannons could disable entire fleets in one blast, rendering all power systems, including shields, weapons, and engines, useless. Once a
And
fleet
the
was
range was
paralyzed,
insane.
the Malevolence's heavy turbo lasers would finish them off. Hundreds of heavy turbo lasers lined its frame, and it held dozens of droid starfighter wings and droid troops within its vast hangars and hallways. Despite it being slow to maneuver and holding an over-reliance on its ion cannon weapons, this hulking war machine was practically invincible in head-on engagements. The Malevolence was able to take on the unending turbo laser fire of several Venator-class Star Destroyers without active shields.
Yeah, I
Executor.
remember that.
The
Here
capital
we go.
ship of Darth Vader, the Executor was one of the largest and most powerful warships in the Imperial Navy. Its sheer scale dwarfed even the conventional Imperial Star Destroyer. This beast carried over 5,000 turbo lasers and ion cannons along its hull. The 13 thrusters at the bottom end of the hull were responsible for moving the vessel. Considered the most important ship in the entire Imperial fleet, the Executor was so massive and well armed it could have destroyed entire rebel fleets unaided. The Executor served as the Imperial flagship during the battles of Hoth and Endor. Despite its massive power, however, this ginormous ship was destroyed when a rebel A-wing crashed into its command bridge, causing
Oh
the
yeah.
massive ship to plummet into the second Death Star. Supremacy.
Yeah, even with something that big, it had like one of the most obvious weaknesses. Just take out the bridge and it'll go down. But I always thought about like the logistical factor of the Malevolence and the Executor, like how much fuel or like energy it would take just to like push that thing forward, and logistical things like resupplies of maintaining the ship itself, like maintenance parts and things like that, and also feeding the amount of like personnel on those ships. Well, I mean, the Malevolence had droids, but still, they need power to like maintain.
Whereas most other ships on this list came
Ah,
from a
Snoke
line
ship.
of mass-produced or similarly designed ships, the Supremacy was the only ship of its kind. The flagship for Supreme Leader Snoke was a flying fortress and mobile command hub for the entirety of the First Order. More wide than it was long, it took the shape of a vast wing spanning a grand total of 60 kilometers. Inside this immense machine, it held shipyards, factories, command centers, and hangars capable of both producing and deploying entire fleets. Supreme Leader Snoke used
It's
the
insane.
Supremacy as his throne ship and his seat of power. Equipped with advanced tracking systems, the Supremacy was the lead ship in pursuit of the Resistance during the events of The Last Jedi. Whereas this ship was protected against almost everything due to its absolute size and advanced shielding, it could not protect against a massive rebel ship traveling through hyperspace. The
Which we
maneuver
saw.
performed by Vice Admiral Holdo cleaved the ship in half, as well as destroying a good chunk of the First Order fleet that trailed behind it. Profundity. There's a good reason.
Wait a minute. I think I'm stupid. Wasn't that ship the home one? I asked him what happened to the home one after the battle Endor, and well, well, there you guys have it. I mean, it shows that how much attention I gave to the Star Wars episodes after 6.
That this
Oh my
list
god.
contains multiple Mon Calamari capital ships.
Oh, the
And
one
this
from
is
Rogue
not the
One.
last one you'll be hearing about. The MC-75 Star Cruiser, known as the Profundity, was the capital ship of the Rebel Alliance Admiral Raddus. The Profundity was the flagship of the Rebel fleet at Scarif,
I didn't.
responsible for helping
By the way, I didn't know it was called the Profundity, but I do remember this ship.
get the Death Star plans to Rebel High Command. However, it wasn't really the ship that was special, rather the commander at its helm. When Jyn Erso took command of a small band of rebels to go down to Scarif, Admiral Raddus heard of this development and prepared his own flagship to join her. This quickly prompted the rest of his fleet to be approved for deployment, with Blue Squadron reinforcing Rogue One on the ground and the starfighters engaging all other threats in the area. It was aboard the Profundity that the stolen Death Star plans were received before being transferred to Princess Leia's Tantive 4, which launched from the Profundity just seconds before Vader could board. Destroyed soon after by Darth Vader's forces, the Profundity's sacrifice made the rebellion's victory in A New Hope possible. The
Yeah, so the Profundity wasn't known, I guess, even with that short, like a short moment in Rogue One. known for its firepower or anything, but its significance in ensuring that the Rebel Alliance would continue on, like the rebellion would continue on through its sacrifice. And I'm guessing Admiral Radis was killed as well. The negotiators. Well, Obi-Wan.
Negotiator. I'll give you one guess as to who you think commanded a ship called the Negotiator. The primary flagship to none other than Obi-Wan Kenobi during the Clone Wars, this
Yep.
ship's name reflected his reputation as the Negotiator. Like other Venators, this was a carrier-destroyer hybrid with the ability to carry over 400 starfighters, as well as thousands of walkers and combat personnel. Capital Venators were signified with red-painted bridges to note their role within a fleet. The Negotiator participated in countless campaigns in the Clone Wars, including Christophsis, the Malevolence campaign, and more. Unfortunately, this ship was lost at the hands of General Grievous. Before Obi-Wan could provide assistance to a group of younglings on the planet Florum, the Negotiator came under attack by General Grievous in his capital ship, the Invisible Hand.
Yeah, I
Grievous
remember that.
boarded the ship, engaging in a battle with the clones inside. Kenobi dueled the general, but elected to retreat with the Republic personnel under his command. Ensuring not to let the Separatists capture the Negotiator or to gain access to its command systems, Kenobi and Marshal Commander Cody activated the vessel's self-destruct mechanism, which destroyed the capital ship. Radis. Named after the Mon Cala who commanded the bridge of the Profundity, the Radis was
Oh, the
probably the
Radis.
most fortified ship in the Resistance fleet. Built decades after the Galactic Civil War, this massive MC-85 starcruiser was designed.
What's wrong with me today? It was the Radis that was in episode 8, not the home one. So what did happen to the home one? Oh my god. I feel so stupid in this video. But like I said, guys, I only like watched episodes 7 through 9 just once, but I never watched it ever again. And that's not usually me, because for me personally, I always like watch movies over and over again. That's the type of person I am. But if a movie's that bad, that's how you know I only watch it once. But okay, so what did happen to the home one afterwards?
as a warship from the start, unlike other Mon Cala cruisers, which were actually retrofitted city ships. This was the Resistance flagship used during the war with the First Order, commanded by General Leia Organa herself. Much of the Resistance command structure was aboard the Radis when they were pursued by Snoke and the First Order. Not many warships could survive an unyielding salvo of cannon fire from Snoke's capital ship, the Supremacy, but for hours the Radis kept its shields up and thrusters burning despite the barrage. It was the Radis that destroyed the Supremacy using the Holdo maneuver, but this ship was inevitably destroyed on impact. Chimera.
Yep.
Serving as the flagship of Grand Admiral
Yes.
Thrawn during his campaigns against the Rebel Alliance, the Chimera spearheaded his attempt to crush the rebellion on Lothal. In Legends, the Chimera became Thrawn's command ship during his campaigns 5 years after the Battle of Endor. It was from the ship during his campaigns 5 years
Man, the paint job at the bottom, in my opinion, is amazing.
after the Battle of Endor. It was from the Chimera that Thrawn nearly crushed the New Republic, remaining a central ship in the Imperial remnant long after his death, with later admirals such as Jalad Pelion commanding from it. In canon, though, the
Oh yeah, wasn't Paleon like his lieutenant or like right-hand man?
Chimera was ultimately lost when Ezra Bridger summoned a pod of Purrgil, which latched onto the ship, dragging both it and Thrawn into hyperspace. One of the most recognizable parts of this ship was the two-headed serpent dragon known as a Chimera. It sprawled across the
Mm-hmm.
ventral hull of Thrawn's flagship, visible to all planetary citizens that it loomed above. The Chimera is recovered in the Ahsoka TV series with Thrawn aboard, although beaten and battered. We're sure to see its return soon in Season 2 of that show. The Resolute.
Looking forward to it.
Anakin Skywalker was the commander of several
There we
ships
go.
during his tenure in the Jedi Order, with many of them being destroyed by various means. However, none stood out more than the Resolute. Under Anakin Skywalker and Admiral Yularen, the Resolute was a highly active Venator-class Star Destroyer throughout the Clone Wars. often operating in joint missions with Obi-Wan's negotiator. The
When I get a place of my own, I'm still gonna buy more Star Wars Legos, and a Venator class start ship is actually on my list.
Resolute participated in dozens of important galactic battles, including Christophsis, the Malevolence Campaign, the Battle of Bothawai, the Battle of Quell, the Battle of Ryloth, and more. This iconic ship was destroyed by Asajj Ventress at the Battle of Sullust.
Oh,
Ventress
that's
and her
right. I forgot
squadron
about
of
that.
droid tri-fighters attacked the Resolute's twin bridges, simultaneously knocking out its controls, causing the rest of the ship to systematically explode. The Eclipse. The capital ship commanded by none other than Emperor Palpatine himself, the Eclipse
Oh,
was an
the Eclipse.
Eclipse-class star dreadnought.
This ship I have seen like maybe 3 times, but I never really got into it.
This dark dagger-like dreadnought had an axial super laser mounted on its hull. Though not as powerful as even one of the component beams of the Death Star, the Eclipse super laser could still easily obliterate even a super star destroyer like Vader's flagship, Executor. The Eclipse carried 600 TIE interceptors and 96 TIE bombers, divided into 58 squadrons. Not enough. This
Wow.
vessel carried 150,000 Imperial soldiers, along with 100 AT-ATs and 5 prefabricated bases within. Still not enough, the ship boasted a crew of over 700,000 personnel. And just
Whoa.
in case one wasn't enough, the Eclipse was just a prototype, used as Palpatine's flagship after he was reincarnated as a clone. An Eclipse Class 2
Oh.
dreadnought was
So
also
that was the
produced,
timeline.
bolstering even more firepower than the Eclipse 1. But that does it for our list. Were there any you think we missed? Let us know in the comments.
Okay, so after a few embarrassing moments of me confusing Radis with Home 1, that was a really great video. I really liked it. Out of all the powerful capital ships, in my opinion, my favorite would be the Malevolence, like I said, because of its design, its capabilities with its ion cannons, its firepower is amazing. And I say, just design-wise, the Eclipse would be really cool. But I just forgot like where it's from, and uh, like where it was shown. But either way, that is my favorite ship. So what do you guys think? Like, what is your favorite capital ship? Please put it down in the comments below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. But besides that, that's all I got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. So with anything else, see you guys next time.